It says China rapidly moves to global yuan gold trade settlement with new international gold facilities. So yes, this is huge because Western commentators and dollar bulls have always said, well, there's no way China's currency is ever going to be a major reserve currency or one of the major reserve currencies because it's not an international currency, but they're going all out to make it international. So it says here, China's new international network of gold delivery and storage facilities send important signal.
Perhaps the replacement of SWIFT is of immediate concern, but China's paramount goal is to replace the US dollar with either a new currency or the Chinese Yuan. In either case, China knows that to have a chance, that currency must be backed by gold, as the dollar is not. Japan, China, South Korea, and the 10-member Association of Southeast Asian Nations have reaffirmed their full commitment to free multilateral trade. This comes amid concern that U.S. tariff measures might blow their region's economy. MarioInnecco is a seasoned financial analyst who frequently shares contrarian views on mainstream financial narratives. Highlighting a pivotal move, Innecco mentions China is laying the groundwork for a gold-backed trade system by expanding international gold storage through the Shanghai Gold Exchange. Concurrently, Innecco compares China's gold push to Russia's response to sanctions. Between China's central bank and the Chinese public, China now takes up 2/3 of the world's annual gold production. According to the World Gold Council, the People's Bank of China, PBOC, bought more gold than any other global central bank last year. Gold has represented China's largest expansion of its reserves since 2017. China's pension funds, insurers, and other state-linked investors are all in for gold. Based on market fundamentals, Innecco underscores the U.S. Treasury market is relying more on hedge funds as sovereign nations pull back. He argues this shift challenges the outdated dollar milkshake theory, signaling a weakening global reliance on the U.S. dollar. According to the IMF, the currency now accounts for just under 59% of global reserves. Referencing financial commentator David Jensen, Innecco calls China's gold infrastructure push a huge step that challenges Western assumptions. While the yuan isn't yet a global reserve currency, gold is positioning it to become one. Before diving into MarioInnecco's sharp insights from his latest interview, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss a moment when truth meets the markets.
A lot of the dollar bulls or the dollar milkshake crowd, they say that there is no other bond market like the Treasury market, so the whole world needs the dollar. But I think that's quickly moving away from such a situation. And I spoke a few days ago or last week sometime how the U.S. Treasury market is becoming more and more dependent on hedge funds and how sovereign countries are kind of like not dealing as much there because they're not going to have as many dollars to recycle. So I think this is very significant. And I also spoke a couple of weeks or even 3 weeks ago of how the Chinese central bank now, they're looking to open depositories for gold in other parts of Asia in order to make the yuan kind of a gold convertible currency. Of course, they're not talking about fixed price of gold yet, but this is all part of this new architecture they're trying to work out. And why are they doing that? Well, it's pretty much like what happened in 2022. Russia had to adapt because they stole their reserves. They shut them out from SWIFT and other Western financial infrastructure, and they had to adapt really quickly. And I think the trade wars, these tariff or Trump wars, are having the same effect that the Ukraine-Russia war had on Russia, but it's having on the rest of Asia. And as we know, Besson recently asked the whole world to isolate China, but it looks like that's happening, well, in reverse. The world looks like they're isolating the US, so it's backfired on Besant, I would say, even though they're going to probably say, no, this is working out great. But anyway, let's look at David Jensen's piece here on what I spoke about the gold depositories. He seems to think it's a very interesting development too. He came out with it yesterday. It says China rapidly moves to global yuan gold trade settlement with new international gold facilities. Western commentators and dollar bulls have always said, well, there's no way China will ever, China's currency is ever going to be a major reserve currency or one of the major reserve currencies because it's not an international currency, but they're going all out to make it international. So it says here, China's new international network of gold delivery and storage facilities send important signal. 2025, China released a joint statement by the People's Bank of China, the National Administration of Financial Regulation, the State Administration of Foreign Exchange, and the Shanghai Municipal People's Government. The statement contained the following sentence: we will explore the internationalization of physical delivery for specific products traded on the Shanghai Gold Exchange by establishing offshore delivery and storage facilities. Well, they say specific products, of course, gold, silver, and other metals, I guess. It's not paper dollars, right? And it says here, according to the South China Morning Post, the joint statement reflects that, and I quote here, China will allow certain products traded on the Shanghai Gold Exchange to be delivered overseas by establishing storage facility in other countries, part of a broader effort to promote the yuan and reduce reliance on the US dollar and US financial systems, according to top regulatory agencies.
Financial expert MarioInnecco observes silver outperforming gold with a 1.5% gain despite broader market weakness. He warns that rising long-term bond yields signal trouble for U.S. debt. With the 40-year bond bull run likely over, he expects central bank intervention, weakening fiat currencies and boosting gold. Gold reached a fresh all-time high in April, continuing its strong upward trajectory over the past 6 months. This rally has been supported by U.S. dollar depreciation and, for some time, falling bond yields, marking a shift from the headwinds these factors posed for previous years. However, a sharp bond sell-off has failed to drag gold down with it, with gold extending gains to the highest on record. Gold, which currently competes with bonds but lacks yield, would benefit in a world where many bonds are refinanced to zero-coupon instruments. In such a scenario, gold's status as a zero-credit risk asset becomes even more attractive, especially if the U.S. government's willingness to honor debt obligations is questioned. Strategically, Innecco suggests China may reveal vast hidden gold reserves to strengthen the yuan globally. Let's get back to the interview.
What is silver doing? Well, silver is still slightly disappointing, but it's up. It's outperforming gold this morning. It's up over. It's up about 1.5%. It's trading right at 33. The high's been 33.14, low 32.46. The rest of the market, the Dow futures is down 75, S&P is down 18, NASDAQ is down 111. Yesterday, the stock markets, they were weak prior to the open, the futures, and then they rebounded. And I think they could still hold on for the next day or two, but it looks like the rally we've had, massive rally actually, only because we had a massive drop earlier in April. That seems to be kind of slowing down. The currency market, it's pretty steady right now. Not much to write home about, but one market I wanted to point out is the Treasury market. And I noticed yesterday the long part of the yield curve, like from 10 to 30 or even 7 to 30, didn't do very well. Yields went up. And I think that doesn't bode well for Uncle Sam and the cost of financing its debt, rolling over trillions that it needs to in the next few months. And I'm sure Secretary of the Treasury Bessent is watching this closely. So the 10-year this morning is at 4.37, up 2.5 basis points. Yesterday, the 30-year got almost up to 5%, which I don't think Bessent will be impressed with, even though he talks about 5% in the 10-year, but I don't think he'd like to see the 30-year at 5. Right now it's at 4.84. It's unchanged. We're going to keep an eye on the bond market. I don't think we're out of the woods in the bond market, anything but the 40. Well, that's Rudy there. He's playing with his toy, as you can see. Yeah, not a very nice picture there. But as I said, as for the bond market, I think the 40-year bull market in bonds that we had from 1981 to roughly 2020, 2021, that's over. Yes, we're going to have rallies in the future in bonds, but those should be taken as opportunities to sell. It's going to be the other way around. We've had 40 years of yields going like that. Now we're going to have a long time of yields going up like this, and that's not good. And that's why I see the central banks probably coming in to do some kind of operation like QE or yield curve control, because they can't afford to let the bond market have real price discovery, because it would bring the whole system down. But as I've said umpteenth times, what that will do, the extra central bank printing or maneuvers, is weaken the dollar and all other fiat currencies versus gold. And I think the Chinese, I think they're determined to really drive through this new international yuan. They're not too concerned about the strength of the yuan versus other fiat currencies. And why is that? Well, because I think they know they have a lot more gold than they let the world know. A lot more than 2,200 tons. They got more like 30,000. And eventually it won't matter if the paper yuan is weak, because once they announce they've got all this gold, the yuan will stabilize massively, I think. But I think they're waiting for the right time, maybe after they've gotten rid of plenty of their U.S. treasuries.
The ongoing U.S.-China trade war has sent ripples through global markets, fueling a sharp rise in gold prices as investors flee to safe haven assets. Trade tensions between the world's two largest economies have heightened economic uncertainty, a trend reflected in the World Uncertainty Index, which soared from 20,372 in September 2024 to 53,189 by March 2025. As global gold accumulation accelerates and trust in fiat wanes, could we be approaching a return to some form of gold standard in global trade? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. If you find this video informative, don't forget to support our channel and turn on notifications to stay informed about our latest videos. See you in the following video.